Hi, I'm Rod Bernstein.
And I'm Marcia Eckert, and today we're going to talk about coaching parents because as therapists, each of us, if we spend time with your kids, we spend maybe an hour and a half a week, maybe twice a week. But when you consider that parents have their kids 24 hours, 7 days a week, and that means that parents are the most effective people to actually do the work with their children. Right, Rob?
It's true. I know someone who basically dedicated the last 30 years training parents as the most important thing as far as me and my colleague of mine, Ram Kairam, who's he's a pediatric neurologist for Bronx Hospital and elsewhere. And it's just dedicating your life to parent groups. I've been part of his parents groups many times, and it's just so important. And
how do you do it?
Well, it's a process. It's a process. First, the parents need to feel that they can have such an effect on the kid. Look, let's be honest. We have a medical system. Take the kid to the doctor, fix him, right? And a parent comes to my office, drops the kid off. I'm going shopping. I'll come back in an hour and a half.
That's so true.
And parents don't say, "Hey, wait a second. Could you help me help my kid?" I mean, it sounds so simple and easy, but it's unusual. So let me just mention this change of mindset is from this COVID situation. Because now through COVID, I need the parent to do, let's say with a young kid, to do what I would do. Because now we're on Zoom, and now I'm in effect training the parents. Mm-hmm. And a lot of parents see like, oh, yeah, I could learn how to help my kid. So it's not just, yes, I'm going to tell all the parents right now in this video what they could do for their kid. The first thing is that the parents need to feel that, yes, I can do it. I don't have to be a physician, right, to heal my kid's diabetes or whatever it is. I can, as a parent, you're really empowered to do a tremendous amount for your kid.
I've done it with teenagers and young adults as well. And I'd say the first step is helping parents take things from the perspective of the kid. Because if you just sort of come at them with fixing it, this is what you should do, this is what you should be doing, forget about it. That doesn't work for parents. It doesn't work for me either. You have to come from the perspective of the kid and help the kid feel that they want to engage with you.
It's so hard because we work with the kids, and if the dynamic is always fighting, the kids come to you and you ask, well, what can I do for you, right? And the kid says, I want my iPhone back. I go, all right, what happened? And now instead of helping the kid in terms of what he really needs, in terms of his learning or relating to people, or I want my iPhone back. So somehow we got to get through that adversarial relationship sometimes with the kids and the parents.
Right. And so, but it's interesting because what gets the iPhone back often is whatever it is the parent really has in mind to work on, but you're doing it from the perspective of the kid. Okay, I'm on your side. Okay, so how are we going to do what you want to do?
Right. And then you come to the reality, like, well, yeah, maybe you just shouldn't curse at your sister or hit whatever. It's like, let's, your parent is doing it because they feel that's going to help, but in effect, there's something that you need to change about yourself, and that it never gets to that because of the fight.
Right, or rather than framing it as you need to change yourself, it's more like what's going on, how come it got taken away, and well, it's because I hit my sister. All right, well, what do you think? And the kid will say, well, I guess if I don't hit my sister, okay, so how's that going to work? You know, what's going to help you not hit your sister so you don't lose your iPhone? And then you have the kid doing the problem solving. So we're not saying, well, you should. We're just saying, hey, how's this going to work? And the kid has to help. It's very much like Ross Green's collaborative problem solving. It's the kid's going to come up with, well, how am I going to be able to do this? And I'm saying, well, she's going to do this again. So how are you going to do something different yourself?
So I guess a complicated answer to a simple question, how do you help parents help their kids? We have to have parents on board. You know, we have to see through if there's adversarial relationships there, we have to kind of see through it. And then it always comes back to the kid, from the kid's point of view, to do something about himself, their self.
Yeah, Stephen Glenn did a really interesting thing ages ago about this kind of thing. So instead of it being me saying that, you know, the parent's the one that says, okay, look, I really don't want you to not have your iPhone. I know you want your iPhone. So the problem, is, you know, and so you're saying you understand their perspective. And then you say, but on the other hand, you know, this business with hitting your sister, what do you think? And so rather than being adversarial, you're on the kid's side. You also don't want this iPhone to be lost. How do we make it happen? And then the kid is invited to be part of the process.
Yeah, that's so important. Yeah, because no kid really wants to be bad,
right,
you know.
Exactly.
You know, he doesn't want to hit his sister per se, but and then there's kind of a self-awareness that the kid needs to do, that you can help. You could help as a parent, help as a therapist, help the parent, help the kid. And so we have this relationship. So I don't know, that's a start. That's a start to answer this question. And I think we'll come back to it.
Is there anything else you'd want to tell parents about the approach to being the one to coach their kids? I mean, a parent has this in mind. I want this kid to, you know, I want this kid to be polite. I want this kid to have a friend. I want this kid to, you know, do their homework. And so, you know, any other suggestions on how to help parents?
Well, first is what you said earlier, is that the parents are with the kid a lot longer than the therapy session once a week or twice a week. And I think probably the most important thing to point out with how the parents could help is that when you try to help, don't give up on the kid. Try to intervene and try to help the child. In other words, you bring a kid to a recreational facility because you want the kid to have a friend. All right, doesn't work for whatever, it doesn't work. And then, but don't give up. Say, hey, maybe another kid in the class or a neighbor may be maybe I can facilitate some kind of one-on-one with my child. It's not easy for a parent to really not give up on their kids. So either get help or think of some ways that you can have the kid do what you want to do. Like Marcia mentioned friendship. So
and the thing that's a heck of a lot easier when you're a therapist than when you're a parent is not getting frustrated and not getting impatient. Because for me, if I see somebody for an hour, you know, it's easier for me to not get frustrated than if I'm with them 24 and, you know, and this is happening over and over again, day by day. And you might have to start out with not, you know, I want you to go and engage with somebody, but rather, you know, do you want to engage with somebody? How do you feel? Do you want to play with somebody? And if they say yes, then you have the opening to say, well, who do you think's a good candidate, right? I mean, help them think about how are they going to, you know, who would the kid want to approach? And then, you know, Rob is amazing at facilitating it, at helping the kid approach that other kid, maybe go to where the kid is doing something, or if it's a teenager and the kid wants to achieve, I want to go, you know, on a road trip with my friends. Then, you know, I tell them, well, you know, I'll tell the parent to say, well, rather than no, because you're not going to do this, this, and this, sort of say, well, what do you think is important? What do you think I care about? And, and have the kids think through what are the issues that they need to think about. So you're helping them take on the role of doing the thinking rather than them doing the role of putting the brakes on.
So one more thing before we leave, just along those lines, that I'll ask a kid, does he have friends? Yes, I have friends in school. I mean, they're legitimate friends. They're nice kids. And then I ask, do you ever see your friends in school outside of school? Do you ever go to them? And it's like, it's not just no, it's like, really? And then I ask the parent, and the parent gives me the same reaction, like, I didn't even consider that. So, well, let's consider that. Let's consider having this kid go to a movie, go somewhere, come over. I mean, extend that. Yeah, and you know this. When you see somebody outside the school setting, the dynamic of friendship changes.
Right. So the takeaway is that you have to connect with your kid around the kid's perspective and what the kid wants. So if the kid wants to have that friend, then what can you do to facilitate it? What would be comfortable? Well, what do you think of having him over? Or if it's something that you need, like not hitting your sister, well, I know you don't want to lose your phone. So the takeaway is connect with your kid around what the kid wants, and then help say, well, maybe I can be a help with that and help problem solve, so that the kid's very much engaged in the process.
And you're on the same side.
Right, and you're on the same side. All right, everybody. Thanks so much. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.